and yeah, and this whole time I thought I was feeling lazy, and I bet there's a lot of people out there too that they think they might be lazy, and they think that whatever they're feeling is just laziness, and that the next day they're gonna feel better and be able to do it. Or for someone who's burnt out, it feels like it's the end of the world for them. It feels like there's no purpose of doing anything. Um, it makes it so difficult to go back to do the same activities just because they feel resentment. Welcome to episode 4. Welcome back to Within the Frame. This is your host Luis. One thing I did realize every time I'm starting these podcast episode that I really or rarely don't even have an introduction, and I'm pretty sure this is the first introduction that I did. Um, I don't know if I had one in the first episode, and I gotta, at least gotta start doing that, just because if I have someone new listening and they didn't listen to the first episode, they're gonna be completely lost on who's this person talking and what's this podcast about. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to figure that out. I guess find some sort of introduction and stuff like that for my podcast. And have I don't know. I'm still, learning on podcasting. Just like as I mentioned before, or anyone who's new listening, this is just I always wanted to do a podcast since I believe a year or year and a half, and I just never had the opportunity to do it just because I just thought that I don't know, I just thought that it was too saturated, I guess. And I mean, yeah, it kind of is too saturated in a way, but um either way, if you want to do something, you got to do it. And yeah, I just wanted to find like another hobby to do just because I'm starting to get back to photography again. I play the guitar once in a while, and yeah, so I just wanted to do something, or at least have a schedule or routine to do. Mostly have something up every Monday. Even though on my Instagram page it tells me episodes every Monday, parentheses sometimes, but I'm trying to get to do it at least every Monday and not just do it every other Monday. But yeah, so yeah, and basically trying to figure out what this podcast is about. I mean, in a way, I kind of want to talk about it as experiences. I guess my own personal experience, because I'm not a professional health coach or life coach. Also health coach as well. I'm not. I also want to talk about a bit of finance too later on in these episodes. Just like through my experience and stuff like you can do, and to improve yourself, and also talk about like creativity, creators blogs, and I guess talk about a little bit of automotive. I mean, I don't know. I thought like not a lot of people are gonna understand that, but I mean, I could talk about how I started becoming, or my journey being a auto technician. And yeah, I mean, this podcast I wanted to be mainly about my personal experience, and talk about my personal experience, and hopefully I'll be able to find other people, or not find other people, but hopefully other people will find me being relatable, or people can be able to relate to the situations that I've been through, and hopefully they can also, I guess, get something out of my podcast every time they listen to it. At least give them, I don't know, hope, give them some sort of motivation as well, and I guess like a different perspective on life. But yeah, and yes, as I mentioned, this is episode 4. Um, I kind of realized that last week or last Monday I didn't have an episode up, and I have a good reason. A reason. Not because I was being lazy. I am gonna be talking about that as well, but the reason why I kind of didn't do a podcast last Monday was because I started at a new job. The beginning of this month, I started a new job, and yeah, I mean, basically, just to do a quick run back, I worked at a dealership. Right after spending, I believe, like almost 4 months at Pep Boys, and I wanted throughout the 4 months, I was like asking questions with the master techs and the technicians in there, and just like trying to learn a little bit more about cars. And also, I was doing my own research on basically like what's better, working for like a chain corporation like Pep Boys or Quicken Lubes or Jiffy Lubes or something like that, or is it better for me to either go to school or to go to a dealership? And I lean towards more to go into a dealership just because I kind of don't have the money to go back to school, just because I did drop out from university and I have student loans to pay. So, and on top of that, since I dropped out for quite a while, they're not gonna let me go into school unless I pay off my current debt. So that won't be anytime soon that I'll be going back to school. But I also was looking at at a dealership, and there was a lot of benefits working for a dealership. You'll have more experience, more. You'll be able to do more work than just like, for example, me at Pep Boys at a chain industry, I guess you could say, or chain corporation. What I mainly did every day was tires, oil changes, and like minor repairs, like headlight, tail lights, air filter, cabin air filters, batteries, and that's it. That was basically what we were able to do, and we couldn't do anything more than that. And it was fun. Yeah, it was. I was able to learn more about I guess like the suspensions of the car, like whenever I was driving them. Watching the technicians, the master techs doing like alignments as well, because we weren't able to do that. And I kind of realized that it was something that I really wanted to do, and it wasn't just something that I was just doing, or I was just working so I could find myself another job. And going back to the benefits working at a dealership, since I already mentioned what it was like working as a for me, I was a lube tech, so that's what we did, just oil change and entire tires, entire rotations. That's basically it, and the minimum repair I just said like a few seconds ago. Um, at a dealership, we're still considered quick lubes the same as like at Pep Boys for entry level. I just want to mention this is like for entry level, someone that has no experience at all. I had no experience, but I had some experience, if that makes sense. But I had no experience on working on cars. So at a dealership, you're still considered a quick lube or lube technician, but you're able to do brake jobs or certain dealerships, because the current one that I just found out, you have to be certified within the dealership to do certain jobs. So like at the previous dealership, I was doing airbags, I was doing recalls, minor recalls, key reprogramming, um, tires, obviously. I was doing oil as well. What else? I guess like also minor damages like bumpers and like the washer fluid thing, the reservoir. Um, like if that was broken, like we had to replace and take out the whole bumper. Crazy. I did that once. What else? Basically we were doing a lot, almost as we were master techs, but we weren't getting paid as much to do those type of jobs. And that's the one reason why I kind of left, because I wasn't getting paid enough. And what's it called? And I was literally living off of paycheck to paycheck. Most of the time I was only working just so I could pay for rent. And for food, I would literally just buy beans and rice, because those were pretty cheap to buy and pretty easy to make for me, and eggs as well. So those were the only three things I would have. And then if I had more money, I'll go buy bread and peanut butter and eat those as well. So that was basically my whole food. Um, from I mean, not really my whole food, but when I had like extra more money, like I was able to buy like beef and chicken stuff like that. But because at Pep Boys I was getting paid a fair amount. But as soon as I went to this dealership, uh, I went down $1, which was kind of crazy. But he did promise us saying that that he's gonna have a different pay system, where technically we are gonna get paid hourly, but with the cars that we're working, it's gonna have more money on top of that. So basically, I'll be working 8 hours within the day, so I'll get paid my 8 hours. Um, but in a dealership on the computer, when you punch in to work on a car, each car or each service has a certain time. So the oil changes were point 0.1, and the tire rotations were point 0.1, and the inspections were point 0.1. So on one car, I'll be getting point 0.3 hours working on it. So he was just saying all that, and the more stuff that we sell is gonna show up. So I was like, you know what, this is not bad. I'm hoping he's saying the truth. So from April to July, basically, I was working there. So that's what, like May, June, July, just only 3 months working there. Now that I'm realizing that, I worked there for 3 months, and out of the 3 months, the first month I want to say, or the first 2 months, or either the first month or within the first 2 weeks, I was able to work my 40 hours. And then after the 2 weeks, I was getting sent home early just because there was no work to do. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. I mean, hopefully working on the cars that I did, I'll make it up. And then after a month being there, I kind of realized that I wasn't getting any money at all, and I was basically losing money, and I wasn't getting paid enough to sustain myself, to be able to provide for my needs, and not necessarily my wants, because my needs were just to pay rent, to be able to buy do groceries, because buying outside food is really expensive, and money for gas, and that was it. And I'll be left over with like at least $100 until the next paycheck. And or not even that. Sometimes I'll be left with like $30, $20. And yeah, so I just why I didn't mention anything, I honestly do not know. I just thought that if I would work more cars within the day, maybe it'll make up. But it was just not happening at all. Um, and yeah, it was just so tough. And so then that's when my friend Brandon, he was looking for, or his girlfriend sent him different dealerships to work at, and there were some good hours, but I was telling him these hours are for people that are level C technicians or above, because we're not even level C technicians at all. We're still considered loop techs. So, and plus, like, it wasn't really worth it. So we were just like still looking until he found one that was literally two dealerships down. So it was within the same road, but two stores down, there was another dealership hiring. So he ended up calling, and he got a call back from the service general, yeah, service service manager. There you go, service manager. And so yeah, so we ended up going there, and we were just talking, and after like the interview, I was sent an offer letter, and it was a really good offer. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that. And I also asked them questions too, like, hey, are you gonna send us to school? Are you gonna is there school provided? If the shop is slow, like, is there anything else we can do? Because I was telling him too that I barely make 40 hours a week. Sometimes I'm working 5 hours a day, and like within the 5 days, the 5 work days, I'll only make like 33 hours. So it wasn't no point of me staying there. So it was so bad, honestly. But yeah, that's just That's a whole different story. I'll yeah, just not realizing I'm like already like 15 minutes in talking about why I haven't recorded anything because. But anyways, um, long story short, uh, I was um I was basically working every weekends, and at this dealership they gave us 2 Saturdays to work and 2 Saturdays off. So yeah, and pretty good pay as well. So I'm feeling really comfortable working there, and I see a lot of great opportunities. And as of right now, I'm almost done with these classes that they told us to take. So I'll be maintenance certified. So I'll be able to do more jobs because I don't want to do oil changes for the rest of my life. But yeah, but going back, yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of didn't had an episode up. And the other reason why was because I felt kind of burnt out. And I've been feeling this burnt out feeling since a year or year and a half. And it kind of started with me doing photography since 2017. And as I was progressing and getting all these making myself better as a photographer and finding clients to work with, at one point I kind of lost motivation in doing photography, video, like storytelling and stuff like that. And yeah, and this whole time I thought I was feeling lazy, and I bet there's a lot of people out there too that they think they might be lazy, and they think that whatever they're feeling is just laziness, and that the next day they're gonna feel better and be able to do it. And that kind of explains my inconsistent on my podcast. I want to record every or have every episode up on Mondays. Every Monday I want to have an episode up, but because of this feeling that I've been feeling since, feels like forever, but almost a year or year and a half. Um, like I tried when I was doing photography, I would try to find myself motivation to do things or to at least challenge myself, but I always thought I was feeling lazy, and I stumbled upon this YouTube video where it says the difference between burnt out and lazy, and the difference between, from what I can pretty much what's the word uh paraphrase it, is that between a burnt out person and a lazy person, if you give a lazy person to do something like a work and they end up messing up, they're gonna be so nonchalant about it. They're gonna have no care in the world if they messed up on what they do or what they did. But compared to if someone who's burnt out, they feel so much resentment on the activity they used to do. Like for me, I used to exercise a lot. I used to do a lot of lifting. I used to go out for runs. I run about like, I don't know, like 5 miles, 10 miles. Not every day, but every other day. Like 3 times a day, I'll run like for 5 to 10 miles. I used to do, like I mentioned, photography. I was just so motivated with life, and I felt so like there was so much purpose to do, or I had so much purpose being here. But but yeah, like, but for a lazy person or for someone who's burnt out, it feels like it's the end of the world for them. It feels like there's no purpose of doing anything. Um, it makes it so difficult to go back to do the same activities just because they feel resentment doing those activities because it brings back I guess like a feeling that they used to have before but they don't have anymore. And yeah, that's pretty much my reason why I kind of didn't have an episode up on on Thursday. I mean on Monday. I didn't record one. Um, just because, like, yeah, like I mentioned, I didn't have Thursday. I also only had the weekends, so the weekends were always occupied. But I always had time in the mornings. But every time when I woke up, um, I just didn't feel like doing anything at times, and yeah, um, and that's the difference between feeling burnt out and feeling laziness. Because a lazy person, like I mentioned, they feel like no fucks on the task that they have to do. They feel so careless. So if you gave them a laptop and they were doing computer work on it and water spilled, they'll be like, oh crap, there's water on it. I'll just go tell the person, hey, I spilled water, and be nonchalant and cool about it. But for someone who's burnt out, they'll think like it's the end of the world. Like like basically like, what was the purpose of me doing this? But yeah, like that's the one thing I'm trying to get over. It's not like a severe mental illness. Like feeling burnt out is not a mental disorder. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but it's nothing serious. Like at one point you will feel burnt out, especially artists will feel so burnt out because they feel like there's a lot of pressure on them to do something, and it is between sometimes it's between if they're doing this for themselves or are they doing this for someone else? Are they doing this for their audience, for their followers, for their listeners? And yeah, so I mean, I don't know how else to talk about this or how to go further into detail and pretty much mention more about it, but that's what I've been feeling. But I'm just trying my best to at least get over it. Um, yeah. But yeah, it's like I know there's gonna be hopefully. I don't know. I just don't want to say anything, but I want to say by next year, I'm hoping that I'll have so much motivation to do things just because I want to get back to storytelling. With my photography page. I still don't know what I want to do with it, and sometimes I just feel like I'm just too late in the game to start photography again. But there's this one YouTuber, well not YouTuber, but this one photographer that I watch, and he has a YouTube channel. His name is Evan Ramp. Um, he's a photographer based out of Atlanta, and he said that he started his photography between the ages of I believe 21 to 23. That's when he started his photography journey because from that it started from his love of sneakers, and he would just like his YouTube channel was actually originally about sneakers. He was a sneakerhead talking about like Nike sneakers, Adidas, Pumas, anything um that was pretty much hot or like the trend. And from there he picked up a camera and he started doing photography between those two ages, and right now he released two books. He's been his most of his work been mentioned on magazines. What else? He was able to do projects with Toyota. He was able to do a project with I believe Hennessy. Um uh I forgot the red alcohol, the green alcohol beverage. It started with an H. I don't even want to attempt to say what it was, but he had so much projects with like big companies, small companies, local artists. I believe he also took a picture of like a few rappers that happened to perform in Atlanta or happened to be in Atlanta. What's it called? He was able to take pictures. He was able to take pictures of artists in Atlanta. So yeah, it's just I don't know. Like if he was able to do it around that age, I'm definitely able to do it at the age that I'm at. So it's just like I said, it's just a battle between feeling resentment on the things that I used to do and trying to find a purpose of doing it or trying to find the passion in it and be able to challenge my creativity because I really do want to get back to photography. mainly storytelling, street photography, and stuff like that. I was never into portraits. I used to do a lot of portraits, but um, I kind of realized this portrait is not my thing. I kind of don't like it. I like doing product photography, car photography, street photography, like storytelling, stuff like that. Um, and same thing with videos. Like I like to do. I've done music videos, but I hate working with artists that don't want to pay the amount that I was basically not offering them, but I was telling them how much my worth was cost, and they wanted to get it for cheap. So I hate working with music videos because of the artists that I was with, they're just so damn cheap. But I also like doing like product videos, like product commercial videos type things as well. So yeah. So if there's anyone out there who think they might be feeling lazy, or like or kind of don't care about it, and it's just like whatever for you, then I'm not saying that you're lazy, but you're not going through the burnt out, or you're not feeling burnt out. But to someone who is feeling burnt out, um, hey, like it's gonna take a while, and it's gonna take a really for me, it took me a really long time. And the one thing I did realize from Evan Ramp, from his video, he did mention that at one point overworking yourself too much is not always good. And sometimes he takes like small breaks, like couple days, and not taking pictures with his camera, and he goes back, and now he feels uh like new ideas coming in and stuff like that. And currently, honestly, right now, Evan Ramp is won't be posting anything, I believe, or won't be. Yeah, he did mention he's gonna take a really long break, like about a month or two, just so, because he felt like he overworked himself too much, not in a bad way, but he felt like he achieved a lot, so he just wants to sit back, relax for a bit, and then come back, and become a better photographer from that break. So yeah, so right now I feel like I took a really long time, a really a really long time. So now I have to be, not have to be, but now is the time for me to get out of that burnt out. Start feeling, start to recognize why I feel these feelings, and how I'm able to overcome it, and achieve the things that I want to do. So yeah, so it's definitely going to be a new chapter in my life. Honestly, looking forward for a lot of things that's gonna happen, especially next year. Uh, and yeah, honestly, I don't know what else to say. It's just it's okay to feel what you're feeling right now. As long as you're able to recognize it and accept how you're feeling, there shouldn't be no shame on that. So it's okay. Always, if you want to talk about it, find a friend, talk to your mom, dad, uncle, family member, to your pet, whoever you have available. Just talk to them and tell them how you're feeling, or just have tell someone like, hey, I want to talk, and I guess like vent in a way. So yeah, so it's okay to feel what you're feeling, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around and listening. And until then, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.